Now see here, all those Who's down in the Whoville were quite fond of Christmas. But that Grinch, yes, that Grinch, who lived just north of the township, he did not much care for the holiday at all. Now, nobody quite knows why the Grinch had such a dislike for the season, but there are some theories floating around, and they include that his noggin wasn't situated properly on the top of his neck, or perhaps his footwear was a bit too snug. But personally, the theory that I think is most likely to be true may be that his cardiovascular system was too small for his body by like 2 times. But regardless of the reason, he would stand there in his mountain grotto, staring down at the Whoville, contemplating about what was about to happen. For he knew that come the dawn, all the little Julians would wake bright and early, and then tear into their material possessions, and make quite a commotion while doing so. And then those gluttonous Whos would sit down and eat, and eat, and eat. They would eat some kind of gelatinous substance and baked dead thing, something the Grinch couldn't stand. And then, then, they would do the worst thing ever. They would stand in formation and croon, croon, croon. And so the Grinch said,
No, we are not doing that again. I've had to put up with this crap for 53 years.
53 years? Looking good for your age, Mr. Grinch. And then the Grinch had an epiphany.
Ho, ho, ho! That's the ticket!
And so he made himself a costume that resembled that of St. Nicholas. But he also needed a reindeer, which are hard to find. And so he grabbed his canine Max and tied some antlers to his head, creating a facsimile of a reindeer at least. Then he forced the poor creature to pull his oversized sled down the mountainside to the first little hovel in the village. He slipped down the chimney, but then he got trapped. But then he freed himself, making that a rather pointless aside, and entered the abode. He then stole all their material possessions, thus freeing them from the clutches of their own avarice. Good for you, Grinch! Steal their food, too. And finally, the tree. But just as he's taking the tree, he hears a sound. He spins around and sees... Oh, no! Child! Be careful what you do or say, Mr. Grinch. You don't want to go to prison! The child said, Santa, why are you taking our tree? Why? The Grinch cleverly spun a deception.
This tree, it's no good, no. I'm taking it to be destroyed, and I'll bring you back a better one.
Okay, Santa, I believe you.
This kid's dumber than a box of rocks.
Then he got the child a vessel of H2O and sent her to her sleeping quarters before making his exit. Skipping ahead a bit, because if we describe every house, we'll be here all day, and he's pushing the material possessions up the mountainside. Good for you, Mr. Grinch. You got away with home invasion and larceny. But it was for a good cause, which makes it okay.
I took their things, push them up and destroy them. Max, please help push. This thing is very heavy. I am smart and they are not.
The Grinch never was very good at improvising songs.
Whatever, I need to hear the misery I have wrought.
And so the Grinch did listen. But no, it can't be! The crooning! That horrible, wretched crooning. They were crooning, and the Grinch was a little taken aback.
In hindsight, the material possessions probably weren't the main point of Christmas. I mean, there's still a part, but, you know, there is other stuff like love and togetherness and fruitcake and long lines. They're just as much a part of Christmas as buying stuff.
And in that moment, the Grinch's subpar cardiovascular system expanded exponentially. You should probably see a doctor about that, Mr. Grinch.
Well, if you can't beat 'em, join 'em.
And so the Grinch returned the material possessions and... wait, Grinch. If they don't need the stuff, then you shouldn't feel morally obligated to bring them back. I'm just saying. But the Grinch just threw it all away to join the mob and maintain the status quo, like the little coward he is. And the Grinch, he himself, carved the roast dead thing. And to think I used to look up to you, Mr. Grinch. And so, children, the moral of the story is conformity is the only way you'll be happy, and never fight the system. The system always wins. Now get out of my house!